if we take that argument.
So at the end of the day, we're trying to focus on the girl child now.
Yeah, well, yes.
The right of, partly. But let's just say that portion is, let's say the Senate rescinds and decides to knock off that portion. How does that solve this issue of disparity in the marriage age of especially the girl child?
Well, that's issues. That's an issue that we need to deal with at the level of harmonization of our laws in Nigeria. So, because the Constitution is the supreme law, if the Constitution gives legitimacy, even if we try to harmonize it at the local level, we will still refer to the Constitution as the supreme law. Mm-hmm. So it's better if we don't have that kind of ambiguity at that level of the Constitution. We know the process. We have been trying to review the Constitution for so long, and it takes a lot of processes. From public hearing, now they are the Senate, then they will take it to the House of Rep. At the House of Rep, they do harmonization. You go to 23 states. So if there are ambiguity, then it's better we don't have it at that level.
Yeah, but the question that some will also ask is that, well, yes, this is coming up, and some say, well, a good thing it is coming up now. But before this one, all of these laws exist. You have that operation in different parts of the country, which gives different age for this marriage. And then people ask, well, because some even say, you're a lawyer, so you could correct us if we're wrong on that this National Assembly cannot necessarily legislate on that because it's in the exclusive list of the states.
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
So what should we be doing now that this has come up?
Well, I think that it's long overdue for us to look at our laws in Nigeria. There are some laws that are there that are not favorable, and there are a lot of contradictions here and there.
Because if we signed all those agreements, we should have done away with those laws.
Yes, that's the way it is. So it's about political will. It's about us signing agreements, and we're not just interested in being by. We don't want to be bound by it. So it's about political will.
Okay.
And if there's no political will at the federal, then it goes down. So and I think that is the situation we have. Yes, I think we have laws in Nigeria, but we have laws that are also done for the sake of politics. So we have laws that are political laws, quote unquote. If you in the Northeast, for example, the age of majority is seen at when you are when you see your first menstruation for a girl, and in the Northwest, it's another thing. It's talking about 14. If you go to the southern part of Nigeria, it's talking about between 16 to 18. So there are discrepancies here and there. In the criminal code, you find that too. So, and I think that's what the Minister of Justice should be looking at. And also that's what the State Assembly should be looking at in terms of how do we harmonize the laws. And it's not only on the question of age of majority, there are also other issues that are not consistent in our law. So we have a major problem of laws. But what this is also bringing out is that it's important for us to begin to review those laws, to see how those laws would actually reflect the situation as it is now, and the aspiration of the Nigerian people.
Okay, let's bring in what people are saying here now. Oti Vane says, it's quite shocking that 95% of female senators voted yes in favor of girl-child marriage, even those female senators who were victim of that. Let me see, how do we put this in context now? Because you were there at the time. Is it exactly the way it is here or a bit different?
I've looked at the list of 35 senators and I didn't see any female senator there.
Who were present voting?
Yeah, who voted for, yeah. Some of them, I saw that they wrote not registered. Probably they were not even there, But for the list of 35 senators that I saw there, I didn't see a single female.
But the thing is, since they're lawmakers, they're aware of those laws. So if they were to help this cause, they know about all these laws, so they should have made a comment or two even before now, before this voting came up.
Yeah, well, I also think that maybe it's also because some of them were part of the committee doing the review that submitted the report that the Senate was considering. And I want to say that some of them actually participated in ensuring that the report came up with the proposal for deletion. So, well, it's unfortunate, but for me, for the female senators, some of them were not there. I actually think that the chair of the Women Affairs Committee was also not there at that point. I think that this was very important, and ordinarily you would have expected that all the female senators should be there to push for some of these issues. Maybe if we had them there, we would have been able to get the kind of votes that we should get. But for me, I think it's not just a woman or man issue. I think it's the responsibility of all the 119 senators to be there to vote and vote right for the Nigerian people.
Well, I see lots of people talking about it's unacceptable, 13-year-old, this shouldn't happen. But maybe for those who have just joined, they're talking about 8,000 more signatures needed. Please sign the petition. Maybe some just walked into this interview. It's not just...
No, it's good. Let's sign signatures because we are bringing an issue.
They need to know what they're signing for. Because as you've said, this section doesn't talk about child marriage.
Yes.
It's about renunciation of citizenship.
Yes.
If they have to talk about child marriage...
But it can have an effect on child marriage and other issue.
Yeah, but they need to address that frontally.
Yes.
If they really want to get it done. Yeah. Because this is good, they specify some things here. But if they have to deal with child marriage, so many laws they have to focus on.
Yes.
Because I'm not even sure the National Assembly can handle it as it is now, because different regions in the country have different customary law marriages specifying the age at which a girl child can get married. And that's what they should address first.
Yeah. Well, I quite agree with you. Yeah. So, I think that we should insist on upholding the deletion of 29(4)(b) because it's ambiguous, because it can cause a lot of misrepresentation in practice and in law, and because it can also affect other laws being the Constitution. So if we are collating signatures, our signatures should focus on the need for us to insist that the Senate should uphold the deletion of Section 29(4)(b). I think it's unnecessary in our law. I think it's superfluous. I think it's just tautology. If Section 29(4)(a) says age of marriage is 18, so why do we need to redefine it? You know, so you then begin to ask, what's the intention of the legislative drafter? And that's why we can impute a lot of reasons. So why would they think so? Because they are looking at the characteristic of married women in Nigeria. So some are underage. You know, so in a way, so when you open it up, it brings a lot of issues up. So, and that's why I think we have enough ambiguous clauses in our Constitution. So we don't need that.
If they delete Section 29(4)(b), do you think this will solve the problem or the challenge that we've got about child marriage?
No, it won't, but it would not complicate the problem. So the issue is that 29(4)(b) has a tendency of making the problem much more complex, because people can run under that to say, yes, we have something in the law which defines the full age of marriage.
Supposing it's reworded instead of deleting, because they might say, okay, let's just reword it and make it across board, both male and female. Would that make sense?
I don't think it's necessary, because I think that Section 29(4)(a) actually talks about male and female. So why do you want to repeat another one for a particular agenda? So it's discriminatory. It's discriminatory. So why not, instead of writing any married woman, why not say any married man? Because we know that most married men will be over 18. So that's just it. So the intention of legislators to do that is actually questionable. So why would they do that in particular? You see, this is a constitution that in 235 places, the word "e" was consistently used. "E shall, e shall, e shall." Then 2 areas where they used the word "she." Any woman, which is 26, Section 26, talking about citizenship and this 29(4). There are those areas that are complex and discriminatory. So you need to ask. So it's a patriarchal constitution. It's a constitution that came in as a result of how many 25 military men brought the constitution into being. So there's a patriarchal tendency of that constitution, and because of that patriarchal tendency, that's why it's important that all the wordings must be clear.
Okay, but
if you look at Section 42 dealing with discrimination, goes on one arm to say no discrimination on the basis of this and that, and on another arm, Section 42(3) goes to say, well, we can discriminate on some areas of appointment.
If I get you properly, yes, Section 29(4)(b), at least to some extent, is ambiguous. It could make people hide under that for child marriage, which is not right.
Yes.
Do you want it deleted?
Yes.
But at the same time, if it's deleted, it doesn't necessarily address the challenge of child marriage which we have in the country.
Yes.
Because other laws for different regions still even lower that age of 18.
Yes. So which is a general, but 29(4)(a) can address it, because it addresses the issue of who is of full age.
Okay.
So you can go back to that state and say, well, your 16 or 14 contradicts the Constitution. That's a better way that's better thing for the constitution to do for the Nigerian people.
All right, Dr. Abiola Akiyode Afolabi is an attorney. She's a feminist and the National Coordinator, Gender and Constitution Network. Thank you for coming on this morning.